continue taking a look at the temptation of Jesus that we find in Luke's 4th chapter. We're going to keep reading. Remember yesterday we talked about Jesus being tempted to make the stone into bread, and how Jesus says, listen, the people don't live only on bread, right? We talked about what that meant. If you didn't get a chance to see it, you can always find it on our YouTube channel. Find it there, and I really encourage you to watch it. Today we're going to talk about the next temptation. This is starting in verse 5. Next, the devil led him to a high place and showed him in a single instant all the kingdoms of the world. The devil said, I will give you this whole domain and the glory of all these kingdoms. It's been entrusted to me, and I can give it to anyone I want. Therefore, if you will worship me, it will all be yours. One of the things I find most interesting about this passage is the outright lie that is within it, right? The temptation is there, absolutely, right? The temptation of just being able to now have dominion over the whole world. And all you got to do is worship the devil, worship Satan, worship evil, worship temptation. It's a big price, though, isn't it? But look at what he could possibly have. Maybe he could just feign worship, pretend. But there's two problems here. One is I can't see Jesus deciding to worship evil. And he says that, right? He says, I will not worship you. You are only to worship the Lord your God. Let's take a look at where it says that. It says, Jesus answered, it is written, you will worship the Lord your God and serve only him. That's an answer to the most apparent problem in this, right? Jesus has no interest in worshiping anyone but God. Part of our covenant relationship with God is that we will worship only God. It's out of a response to the love that God pours out to us that we then return praise and worship to God, that return that love to God. See, our mutual covenant relationship with God is all about love, that reciprocating love. And when we fail to respond with love, God still pours out love upon us. But I said there is an inherent lie within this statement by the devil. He says, I will give it to you. Dominion and power over all the kingdoms of this world. It's been entrusted to me. Did you hear it? Who entrusted the whole world to Satan? Who gave it to Satan? Because in order to give something to someone, you have to first be in possession of it. Now, I don't doubt that the devil has some activity in the world. But that doesn't mean that evil owns it. The world is still God's. And hard as evil, Satan, the devil might try to convince us otherwise, the world is God's. God created the world. God created us. Nothing takes that away. You see, the devil has nothing really to give Jesus, but so hungry to be worshipped, he's willing to even lie. Now, I know that doesn't sound like the biggest leap in the world to think that the devil would lie to us, but sometimes we forget that we need to learn how to tell the difference between when we're being lied to and when something looks appealing. You've heard the phrase, right? Maybe it's too good to be true. Well, usually when it seems too good to be true, it is. It's not true, right? Well, the same is true here. Had Jesus fallen into the temptation? desiring to be able to finally have control of the whole world, dominion over the whole world and its kingdoms, and all it would take is worshiping the devil. It doesn't say forever, but maybe just once. Could the devil really give anything to Jesus? I suspect the reason Jesus didn't even acknowledge this was because he knew the lie. You see, the lie is this: evil has nothing to offer you. The temptations of the devil, of Satan, have nothing to give you. It doesn't improve your life. It doesn't give you more power. It doesn't give you more wisdom. None of it. But when we turn to God, when we worship God alone, that's where we find truth. That's where we find grace and love and wisdom and strength. Those very things that we're looking for. And so, take time to train yourself to hear the lie and discover the truth. And it's that truth that we worship. Amen.